The call came at night, the kind of hour when silence should hold the house still. "Your niece is here," the detective's voice rasped through the line. "She ran into the station, begged us to arrest her mother." My chest tightened, though my tone stayed level. "What happened?" "Better if you come." I drove through the dark with my hands fixed steady on the wheel, steadier than my pulse. At the station I found her, small, wrapped in a blanket too large, her eyes hollow. She didn't look at me until I crouched beside her. "Uncle," her voice cracked. I gave them what I found in Mom's room. Her hand clutched the edge of the blanket like it was the only thing holding her together. The detective returned, a manila folder in his grip. He didn't speak, just placed it on the table. I opened it, and felt the ground shift beneath me. Inside were photographs, receipts, hidden phones, and letters. Letters addressed not to strangers, but to men I knew, my late brother's colleagues, his friends. Her mother, my sister-in-law, was not grieving his death as we thought. She had been living a second life beneath the same roof. One page stuck to me, a confession written like a diary, cold, methodical, how she'd siphoned his accounts, how she laughed when he suspected nothing, how she told her lover she wished my brother would finally get himself killed at work so they could be free. He did die, a car crash, convenient, too convenient. My niece shifted closer, whispering again, "She killed him, didn't she?" Her words pierced deeper than the folder. I didn't answer. I couldn't, not yet. But in that moment, denial fractured, and what remained was suspicion sharpening into something deadlier. The betrayal wasn't just infidelity. It was wrought. Inside family. Inside blood. I didn't confront her. Not that night. Not when the evidence sat raw in my hands. I took my niece home, laid her on the couch, and pretended the world hadn't shifted. She clung to me, even in sleep, her breaths shallow. And I thought of my brother, his laugh, his loyalty, the man who never saw the knife pressed against his back until it slid between his ribs. I began my work in silence. Her financial records revealed movements that spoke louder than words. Transfers, days before his death. Insurance cashed quicker than grief should allow. Hotel bookings, aliases, always patterns. I dug further. Calls traced to a number that belonged to a federal officer she once claimed was a family friend. His name appeared beside hers too often to be coincidence. And in the shadows of her bedroom closet, tucked behind old coats, I found another diary. This one written less carefully, more rage than calculation. He's suspicious. He's asking too much. If only the brakes would fail. They did. Every puzzle piece aligned. She hadn't just betrayed him with another man. She orchestrated his death. And the daughter she birthed into this betrayal was the one who unraveled it. Patience held me steady. I wanted to storm into her room, drag her into the open, let her choke on her lies. But that would give her power, panic, denial, the chance to twist the narrative. No, I would let the noose tighten first, slowly, quietly, until she felt it herself. The official report arrived within days. Forensics on the wreck, brake lines cut, a fire suppressed, insurance collected. The folder returned heavier now, stamped with finality. I brought it to her, sat it down on the table between us, the same way the detective had done to me. "Read." She smirked at first, masking fear with arrogance. But as her eyes moved, as each page stripped her bare, the smirk faded. Her hands shook. Her lips parted. A soundless plea formed, died. When she looked up at me, her mask was gone. "It wasn't supposed to happen that way," she whispered. Not denial, admission. The air froze around us. My niece stood in the doorway listening. Her mother didn't even notice. I leaned back, folding my hands. "You killed him." and you would have buried her in your lies too. Her breath came sharp. Please, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. I pulled my phone from my pocket and slid it across the table. A red light blinked. Recording. Every word preserved. Her face collapsed in terror. You can't. I already did. Files sent to the detectives, to her family, to the agency that once protected her. She reached for me then, desperation clawing. Think of her, think of my daughter. I stood, cold. I am. Her scream followed me down the hall, raw and broken. My niece clutched my sleeve as I passed, her eyes wide, trembling. You're safe now, I told her, and for once it wasn't a lie. The house was silent when the police came. They carried her out, wrists bound, eyes wild. She didn't look at me, though I knew she wanted to. She wanted to beg, to twist, to claw for control. But control was gone. I stood with my niece at the window, watching the car pull away. Her hand fit small inside mine. There was no satisfaction, no triumph, only clarity. My brother was gone, his wife was gone, but his daughter remained. Scarred, yes, but unbroken. I would raise her, protect her. She would never inherit her mother's rot. As the sirens faded, I whispered to myself, steady and final. She thought she buried her sins in the dark, but tonight, the dark buried her.